So, Noi, we have had talk about your emotional well-being and we have talked about how you feel the baby is going. And now I want to talk a bit more about the feeding. So you are obviously breastfeeding baby?
Yes, yep.
Great. And how is that going?
It's going okay now, I think. It was quite hard at the start to know if the baby was getting enough milk. I think she is, but that's hard to know. I just worry about that.
What makes you think that she's getting a good amount of milk? What would make you think that she's getting a good amount?
Most of the time, she will settle and go to sleep. After she had a feed, she will have a short sleep. But sometimes she doesn't seem to sleep. She just wants to feed and feed. And I just wonder then sometimes it's been the last couple of evenings that she just feeds and won't sleep. And I worry that she's getting milk then.
That sounds like a very normal pattern in these early days, and also an ongoing feeding pattern that baby will sometimes feed and then settle between feeds and have a bit of a sleep, maybe an hour, maybe 2 or 3. But then sometimes, particularly in the evening, when you are trying to get other stuff done, all the baby wants to do is feed, and the way they are increasing your supply, and so they are making sure that your body makes enough for them, so that is actually a good thing, and they will continue to do that right throughout the year. They are stimulating your breast, or actually your brain, to let your breast know to make more milk, that there is a baby here, it's growing, it needs some more milk, so the more they feed, the more milk you will make. So a baby that's feeding very regularly but also has some times where they are settling and sleeping between feeds, it's a very good sign that your milk making process is really starting to get going. So that's reassuring. How many times has a baby had a wet nappy in the last about 24 hours?
Maybe 4, 5, maybe 5 or 6.
That sounds like a lot at the stage. So I think, you can be reassured that you have got, plenty of milk there for baby. And as long as you follow baby cues, feed them when they are hungry, lots of skin to skin when you are feeding. So unwrapping baby and putting baby against your skin, the skin against your skin. And then just feeding them whenever they are wanting to be fed. That's a really good way of ensuring that you are making enough milk for your baby. And we know that the vast majority of women can make enough milk for their babies. In fact, sometimes they can make a bit too much milk initially, and the breast will get very full and can be a little bit tender as well. So how are your breasts?
Oh, perhaps from about this morning, they have been feeling very full. And then it's hard for the baby, for her to latch on. So,
What have you been doing to help get her on when breasts have been quite full?
just struggling really. I don't know what to do. And then she seems to cry and get all upset. And then it's harder still.
Some women find it helpful to express a little bit of milk. So hand expressing some milk, just squeeze, putting your thumbs and your finger around nipple, pushing and squeezing and pulling out, that kind of action, and that will help the milk to fly, and then it helps the nipple instead of being all flat like a board. It helps it to get to, like the little nipple sharp back so that the baby can get on with it. And if they get a nice wide mouth, then they can really make big sucks, not just a little sucking on the end.
Yeah?
So that's been a nice big bit of a nipple in their mouth, and then it should feel comfortable and not pinching or sore. And so it could be that you are just making an oversupply of milk, which is a very normal initially. But softening up the nipple before you get baby on sometimes helps them to get on easier, and then they don't get all upset and crying, and much more comfortable for you too.
Yeah, it's been a bit sore. It's just probably just since last night and this morning. I wonder if that's what's happening.
So try that before next time you feed. If you feel that your breasts are full, your nipples are quite flat because of the full breast, just sort of express a little bit of milk to soften them up. And I think you will probably find the baby will go on well because she's been feeding well right up until now. So it's very common slight issue at this point, but if you can just express a little bit of milk, soften it up, I think you will find and it will all settle down quite quickly. Again, you just have the short period of food oversupply, and then the hormones tell your brain to stop making so much milk. You don't need that much. You only need as much as the baby needs to take. So it's a very demand supply kind of situation. So if you give the baby access to the breast and feeding whenever they look like they want to feed, or whenever they are asking to feed, then you will usually make just enough milk for your baby. So it sounds like you are doing a great job here, and you are obviously been feeding as we have been talking, and so that the baby been having a nice long feed. That's reassuring for me and for you too. And wet nappies that you talk about are a good sign as well. It's obviously getting enough fluid and babies passing urine. What about poop nappies? Has there been any poopy nappies?
Just probably once or twice a day.
Good, yes. Anything's normal with the pooing. What color? What is this at this stage?
Sort of yellowish. Then was greenish a couple of days. And then there was still some flakes of green, but yellow, yes, was white.
Cheese? Like, yeah, like seeds? That sounds very normal poo when your milk is coming in, or as a starting the second milk. So you get the first colostrum milk that keeps baby going for the first few days, and then the next milk starts to come in. So that sounds exactly what you are explaining. Their poo will change from initial black when they are born, then it goes greeny, a bit more watery, and then it changes to the yellow, and then it becomes very yellow and often white little what looks like a seed in it, but they are not seed. So that is really reassuring as well. It sounds like you have got a really good start on the breastfeeding, so just keep doing what you are doing. Make sure the baby's getting as much breastfeeding as they are asking for. You are not giving baby any other food or fluid at this point, and we recommend baby just have breast milk for the first six months of the life.
6 months?
Yes, 6 months. And then we start introducing other food slowly, but we recommend that you keep breastfeeding for as long as you can. You have looked like you have made a really good start with it. And if you need any support, there is a community group of a woman that support women who are learning to breastfeed. And you say your mom is there, so she sounds like she's been good support. But there is other community support too that we can put you in touch with.